would you please take the roll?
Right, Town of Hancock,
Okay.
Town of Fremont,
Present.
Town of Delaware,
Present.
Town of Coshocton,
I'm really here.
Town of Dunston,
Yeah.
Town of Highland,
Here, present.
Town of Lumberland,
Here.
Town of Deer Park,
Here.
Damascus Township,
There.
Berlin Township,
Here.
Lackawaxen Township,
Here.
Gahola Township,
Here.
Westfall Township, State of New York,
I'm here.
Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, Delaware River Basin Commission,
Beth's here. We didn't hear you, but she's here.
National Park Service. Here.
Pretty good.
Okay. All right, thank you. All right, so our first order of business tonight is a presentation on public accesses on the Upper Delaware Scenic and Recreational River. It will be given by Jessica Wyman, and she's asked that we hold our questions to the end of her presentation. So we need to do that. So Jessica, you're on.
All right, well, thanks for asking me to be here. All right, thank you, Stephanie, because I was like, how do I get this on?
You're good.
All right. So, yeah, I thought I'd just give a little brief talk on the co-management of the public river accesses here in the corridor for this year. So altogether, we have 19 public accesses. And out of those 19, there's 5 owners. We have New York DEC, NIDOT, PA Fish and Boat. The Conservation Fund is currently the owner of the TMR access. And then NPS has one, which is Cowan Farm. Obviously, we have like 70 some miles of river, right? And all these entities have to work very closely together to maintain all this because we're really spread out. Our most popular accesses are Mongop, Narrowsburg, Skinner's, Darbytown is also very popular. And of course, for different reasons, some are fishing, some are recreational, more of the liveries with the rafting and tubing, and some are just people hanging out. So it takes, we are central, I'd say the NPS is most geographically located, like in the most sensible spot to be able to help maintain all these accesses. You know, DEC, all the other entities, they could be like hours away. So it's critical that like we work together to try and keep them maintained. We've started doing an annual meeting, which is extremely helpful. So we try and do that before the season begins. And that involves NPS, DEC, PA Game and Fish. And then also I should note that the village of like Hancock and Highland also play a role in taking part of those accesses, like the Hancock access and the Highland access. And PA Fish and Boat also have, it's called the Adopt and Access. So I think even Evan might be part of that, one of his groups, and they take care of like Damascus. And so that's also a great program. If you know of anyone that would like want to adopt an access, I'm sure PA Fish and Boat would be very happy to talk to them. So anyway, we get together in the beginning of before the season, kind of go over like, hey, what's going on? Anybody have anything major happening? You know, are we still able to provide the maintenance or services that we have? Is there anything that they're going to be doing differently? And so that's worked out really well. And then we've been trying to also like do an end of the season, just kind of follow up what worked, what didn't work. Let's see if there was anything else. So this year there is some scheduled work. Buckingham is supposed to get work done on the boat ramp. And then Damascus is also supposed to get some repairs done to the boat ramp that that got repaired last year. And then obviously Skinner's is gonna have work done to it since it's a construction staging spot at this point. We can go to the next slide. And so Park Service, as far as some of the ways that we can help and we don't do this at all of the accesses. You know, we don't do anything past Hancock. We really don't do much at Hancock anyway. The town takes care of that. We do have a porta-john that gets put up there. We do have some, we don't even have signage at this point. That got taken out in a flood years ago and it did not get put back in. So mainly we mainly do a porta-john up there. But from Hancock down to Mongauk, there's a few in there that don't receive anything like baskets. Kellerman's has like a signage, you know, so there's minimal, certain accesses have minimal things, but we do have 18 accesses that receive porta-johns, so at least one, some of them have a couple. We do grounds maintenance and litter patrol, so grounds maintenance, that's mowing, weed eating, litter pickup. We put in the ranger kiosks for informational purposes and to, you know, give out safety messaging. And we also have our loaner life jacket stations at various accesses, informational signage and waysides, emergency response, law enforcement. We do have traffic counters at some of them. And then we also started last year, we in order to be able to gather any type of access, like so the public could report access conditions. We actually developed an email address, which is on the next slide, whoops. Which is upd_info@NPS, so that gets put on all the porta-johns. Hoping, you know, people see it. We don't want to keep, you know, putting posts everywhere and more signage, so we tried to incorporate that into what we have. But anyway, that's a way for people to report good or bad to us if they can't, you know, if they're don't have direct lines, I guess, to the NPS or the other entities. And that's just a good way for us to channel, you know, if we get any information through that, then I reach out to the the respective entity that owns the property, and then we try and coordinate to get work done. We also do some high water, like if events like mainly at Lackawaxen access, or the game and fish access there in Lackawaxen. If that gets high water, TMR, basically because we have the equipment that can handle that. And we could get the equipment there relatively easy. Otherwise we do, you know, if there's a high water event and stuff gets a mess, then I reach out to the right states and they put in work requests, you know, because like I said, their offices are sometimes hours away, same with their maintenance shops, so it's not easy. You know, I'm sure to them it's like probably owning a summer home or something when you live across, you know, in another state, and now you know, the neighbor calls, a tree fell on your roof. So, but that's all I got. I think everyone got a spreadsheet that lists all of the accesses and talks about what's provided at those. We tried to put in the traffic counting stats from last year. Unfortunately, Mongauk was kind of acting up, so we don't have that one.
That's busy.
Yeah, we know it is. So, yeah, I guess at this point, I'd be happy to take any questions anyone has. Yes.
What is the Sullivan County Concept Plan?
That was a thing done, I don't know what year. I will say it was probably back in the Chris Heister years, maybe. It might even been before. But it was like a concept, I think, to do improvements at different, I know TMR was one of them. But I don't know, I'd have to look back and see what else is in there.
I had never heard of it even.
Yeah,
Okay, thank you.
We had served on that committee, yes, and that's exactly what it is. They brought in consultants to look at the river accesses and prioritize which ones needed improvements. The whole Highland access came out of that, that whole exercise, really. That was the first one that they tackled as being, you know, probably the easiest to accomplish. And 10 Mile River was maybe the most difficult one.
yeah.
Anybody else? Questions? Hearing none. All right, well, it came to our attention.
Thank you.
that you don't have a partnership here.
No, I don't. I'll be happy.
So, we're